We've had a lot of companies and people to say thank you for helping us put this deck together today. We do 16 webinars a year, and 8 to 10 of them are brand new content. So without these companies, we couldn't do that. And we have, as I said, quite a few speakers today. We're not going to introduce them individually. Don't worry, but you'll get to know them here as we move forward in today's deck. So we're very thankful for them as well. If you want to take a snapshot, these are our speakers today. This is how you can contact them directly if you would like. And then Dan, as he discussed earlier, his engineering team provides the engineer's package, case studies, details in AutoCAD, contractor lists for projects. We also at the Alliance do training. All right, so with that, I'd like to bring on my good friend, Matthew Danish. Hello, Matthew. Tell us who you are. Welcome.
Hey, hello, Peter. Oh, welcome. Thank you so much for having us and letting us be the proud sponsor of this webinar.
Yeah, you are. You are our sponsor today, so we thank you for that. And you also are talking about double XL pipe. But first, tell us a little bit about Agro.
So Agro America has been making HDPE pipe now in the U.S. for about 8 years in large diameters, largest pressure pipe in the industry, up to 11.5 feet in diameter. And what we also provide is the fittings and components that go along with the XXL pipe systems, T's, takeoffs, elbows, different forms and fashions of fabricated fittings. And we provide this all in different sizes. For both the ASTM F714, we have full range of sizes starting at 24 inches all the way up to the 63, and then metric sizes 18 to 3260 millimeters, which is about 11.5 feet. And different sizes of pipe for IPS sizes. In particular, something that we like to do is custom tailor the outside of the diameter of pipe for projects that can justify, large projects like slip lining projects. Since there's a lot of 48-inch steel pipe out there, what we have found is we have a new size 46-inch that we use for slip lining a 48-inch pipe. And then we have a 48-inch adapter that can be welded onto that to make your connections. So this takes most use out of doing slip lining and compression fit for rehabilitation of existing lines that are in bad repair.
Thank you, Matthew. I didn't realize you guys had added the 46-inch. That's fantastic. Also, Matthew, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about the services you perform at Agro when engineers are considering polyethylene, well before the purchase decision. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get started.
Right. So my position is the technical product manager for the large diameter pipe and piping systems. And so what I help people with is we'll have an engineer who's trying to use HDPE for the first time, and we'll walk them through what needs to be considered. A lot of times what we have specs that were written for either steel pipe or some other rigid pipe systems. And so we're able to go in there and help them remove elbows because HDPE is very flexible. So the first thing we do is we look at their layout, and we can help them by creating the system that allows the pipe to bend naturally and to remove elbows in the system. Also other configurations to help them with takeoffs and things like that we can do in the field after the line's been installed with the top load saddles and electrofusion saddles that we can then add to the pipe systems for takeoffs and things like that. We also have
fascinating. Well done.
Number of different fittings. If you go to the next slide, we'll start talking about some of the fittings that we can put onto our pipe. So elbows, we go all the way up to the largest size. T's, we can go all the way up to a 2300. Different types of sweep bends that are available, and the reducing T's. These are full pressure reducing T's that are made from a solid piece of HDPE block that are machined out for a T. We also have the flange adapters all the way up to 3260, reducers for all sizes, end caps, and then, like I said, the top load electrofusion saddles that then can be added on to the pipe for different types of takeoffs. Most importantly for electrofusion couplers, that's the last hit, is we actually now go up to a 2 meter pipe. We have successful with a electrofusion coupling up to 78 inches or 2,000 millimeters. When you start talking large diameter electrofusion, you have to be very careful about what type of pipe you put it on. The electrofusion coupler is designed such that it fits fairly tight, snug onto the pipe. And that means the pipe has to be made to a higher quality of OD controlled and also the roundness of the pipe. So these are all things that we pride ourselves on at making what we call electrofusion type grade HDPE pipe so that you can use electrofusion couplers to couple the pipe in the field. We also have fabricated elbows and T's as well, like I said before. We have flange connections on the T's for connecting manholes and other types of apparatus onto the large diameter pipe. And then different types of means of transportation. We can do flatbed truck, we can go ocean, we can go ocean container, and we can also go break bulk onto a deck of a ship. And then what we pride ourselves on also is the large diameter with heavy wall thickness. One of the great things about the resin industry is we have been able to have the resin producers produce what we call a low sag resin, which then is able for us to produce very thick wall pipes without the sagging. Because historically, the resins have not been able to be low sag quality. So you end up with a pipe that is very fat on the bottom and thin at the top. And so this allows us for better processability to make pipes that are very heavy wall for the higher pressure pipe systems that are required by AWWA, especially since they want to go to a SDR11 for most of their pipe systems. And then we can do all kind of fittings with those pipes with segmented fittings and elbows and T's and have flange connection supports or other types of connections for mechanical connections to an existing system.
So Matthew, on that image on the right, in previous webinars, we've talked about how easy it is to just bend the pipe without a fitting. Why in this case did you need, like a 6-segment 45? Why is that needed?
Well, what's interesting about the 6-segment is you can go around different types of obstacles in your way. And what we have found is that whenever you have a larger number of segments in a bend, you get a higher pressure rating for that fitting. So if it is something that has a segment fitting that has a mitered angle of less than 11.25 degrees, then you get a higher pressure rating than something that has a 22.5 or 30-degree miter bend to it.
Got it. Yeah, makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you. And then finally, Agru, you're building a new plant, I see.
Yes, we've been very successful in Charleston for making a large diameter pipe. We have shipped that pipe all the way across the country for a number of projects. And so we have come to the realization that we needed another facility to help with transportation costs because transportation costs have been going up. So we have decided to have a facility in Ferndale, Nevada, which is just outside of Reno. And that will make it more of a strategic location for some of our Western customers that need water desperately. And HDPE pipe is one of the best ways to reduce the amount of losses for any type of water piping system, especially out west for irrigation systems.
Great. Well done. And thank you again to you and your team, Matthew, for sponsoring this webinar. Greatly appreciated, as do your fellow members of the Alliance for PE Pipe. So thank you, Matthew Danish. Now, Mark Tompkins, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me, Peter.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun over the years talking about your products. Mark, here it is, the Series 66. People say, well, oh yeah, I have to use an MJ on a valve. Well, guess what? You don't.
You don't. Correct. Basically, what we did, we designed our Series 66 basically for HDPE pipe. We do make resilient seated gate valves, but what we're trying to do with the Series 66 is if you're going to fuse your pipe in place, why wouldn't you fuse your gate valves in line? Basically, it helps reduce a potential leak path, helps reduce installation time. It's very easy. You can use a machine or a fusion coupling. Basically, we designed our Series 66 to go from sizes 2-inch to 16-inch, which are your most common valve sizes right now your gate valve sizes. Basically, it's just a drop in place. You fuse it together and drop it in place. We're just trying to reduce our corrosion on our gate valve. Basically, this is a picture of one of our installations right now. You can either, again, fuse it with a fusion machine, or you can fuse it with a coupling. We also do a fire hydrant lead. Then again, there's a picture of our, right there, you see the fire hydrant lead. You can do it above ground, just drop it in place where you have the isolation valve fused in front and just drop it into place. Again, basically, it's designed to fit in any fusion machine for easy assembly, or we try to also give you a little bit extra pipe in case there's an issue and you need to use it again. Basically, once it's assembled above ground, you simply just drop it in the trench. You can also, again, use electrofusion couplings. We can also supply the gate valve with a variety of options if you need gearing. If you're going to use them for post indicators, you need a post indicator plate. And in certain instances where maybe you have a lot of highly corrosive soil, we can also do what we call an exterior PUR coating, which is a polyurethane coating that covers the outside of the valve, just keeps it from corrosion. Basically, the way that we manufacture this gate valve is we actually have a serrated edge. It's a ductile iron body, and we have a serrated edge on one side. We actually have a machine that flares the pipe. It compresses the pipe about halfway on. And then we take a steel band, you'll notice on here, and we have another machine that pulls the pipe up against the body of the valve itself. What it does, it crushes that pipe in that serrated or grooved edge. It's not going to blow out. The pipe will not come off. The pipe will actually burst before it ever comes off of the edge of the valve itself. And then we put basically just a heat shrink wrap on it to protect it. But it does follow a lot of the same characteristics as our standard gate valve. All of our gate valves use now 316 stainless steel bolting for our gate valves. And you'll notice that all of our gate valve bonnet bolts are recessed into the body of the bonnet. Again, we want to cut down on corrosion. We don't want the soil to touch the bolt in any way, above or below. We also pour what we call a hot glue on top of the bolt. Now, the reason we do that is sometimes during transportation, a lot of the bonnet bolts and nuts will actually loosen up with all the vibrations from transporting it. By using a recessed bolt and putting the hot glue on top of it, our bonnet bolts will not loosen themselves up over the years. Basically, all of our gate valves have the same standard configurations. We use a stainless steel stem, Series 430 stainless steel stem. Again, this is a resilient seated gate valve. It is a ductile iron body, ductile iron bonnet. Our thrust nuts are copper alloy, but we use a stainless steel stem. Now, the reason we use a stainless steel stem is for a couple of reasons. One is going to be a bent or a broken stem. A lot of the reasons why valves fail in the field is the stem breaks or the stem gets bent, which will not operate up and down. We use a Series 430 stainless steel stem, which is probably twice as strong as a bronze stem or a 304 stainless steel stem. It's just as highly corrosive in potable water as bronze, but it's much stronger. We actually have that cold rolled out of a solid piece of stainless steel. We don't lathe it. We actually use a stainless steel bar, and we have huge hydraulic presses that compress the metal actually into the valve itself. Now, there may be some areas where you do want to use a bronze stem in certain applications, such as wastewater or sewer. A saltwater application, you may want to use a bronze stem for that application. It will hold up better. But in most cases, our stainless steel stem is a great choice. Basically, our valves do meet the NSF 372 low lead requirements for safe drinking water. Now, the valve itself is not UL or FM covered because right now UL and FM does not recognize the PE stubs on the end of the valve. This is a picture of one of our gentlemen that's actually just finished up on making it. You can see now the pipe has been compressed onto it. It's been covered with the wrap on the outside, and it's going to be placed in a in a container ready for transport. We do have information available online. Please go to americanabk.com. There you can get any of our brochures. We also have maintenance guides that have a breakdown of all of our parts available. We also have a nice video section. If you want to actually see the Series 66 gate valve being manufactured, we have a video online that shows you actually how we put it together. You can also get videos on putting on extension kits, installations on the products themselves, traffic repair kits, anything helpful for you. We do have online videos, and a nice feature we do have is we do have now our new ABK certified area. What it is basically we have about 50 courses online that go over. They're geared to our products, but they go over resiliency to gate valves, fire hydrants, butterfly valves, our Series 66 valve. You can actually take a course on them. Basically fire hydrants and gate valves really do sort of work the same. So it's a nice, really learning tool for you to go online, and it's free. Just let us know. We're happy to get you a login to use that facility.
Way to go, Mark. I've had, as I mentioned, a lot of fun talking about your products. How has the sales of the Series 66 been over the last decade?
Oh, it's grown. It's grown quite a bit, probably 30 or 40%. We have a lot of luck, especially, as our range goes from 2-inch to 16-inch, we're finding more and more applications for the Series 66. Again, if you're going to fuse the valve, the pipe in line, why would you want to fuse the gate valve in line? Yeah. It's a seamless connection. It's just the easiest way to do it. The funniest thing is really we're so busy, it's probably hard just to catch up.
Yeah. Well, great job, Mark. Thanks for taking time to do this today. I know our audience appreciated it.
Sure.
All right. Kevin. Next, we've got Ben Ferguson with Footage. Ben, are you there?
I am here, Peter. Yes. Thanks for having me.
Good. Welcome. Take it away, Ben.
Awesome. Yeah. So my name is Ben Ferguson. I am with Footage Tools. We are a manufacturer located in Toronto, Canada, of high quality infrastructure tools that are being used all over the world. I'm here today to talk to you about our squeeze off tool line, and in particular talk about what is a squeeze off, why we squeeze off, and how we squeeze off. So what is a squeeze off? So squeeze off is a technique to temporarily compress pipe to stop the flow of media inside that pipe. And what is the main objective of a squeeze off is to gain flow control for a localized isolation. And how we do that, I've shown 3 tools here. So we have a manual tool line that has that features 1/2 inch through 4 inch. We have a gear operated tool line that features 2 inch through 6 inch, and our hydraulic covers 4 inch all the way up to 24 inch. And that's the tool on the right hand side, which is our newly released Squeeze Boss. Why we squeeze? So there's a few different reasons. So number one, emergency situation, right? If you want to isolate a section of pipe in emergency situation, this is a great tool to use that. Repair and maintenance. So temporarily stops the flow to repair any type of valve, pipe replacement, tapping, any type of service work you have. Planned construction. So if you want to control the flow during tie-ins or any extension system upgrades, you can use a squeeze-off tool in that fashion as well. Benefits of a squeeze-off tool. So this is the main one. I'm going to highlight this in our product spotlight, but localized shutoff when valves are unavailable, which is key. Minimizing costly and disruptive shutdowns, and also rapid flow controls in emergency situations. Yeah, so this is a little best practices on squeeze-off tools. So there is guidelines on how we squeeze. So one, qualified tools, making sure the tools are qualified and ready to use in working condition. Operators being trained. So this is huge. We do offer an operator 1 and 2 training program that is now released. You can access that through our website. Proper tool placement and setup. Again, key in making sure that you're going to get a successful squeeze is the way you set it up, making sure that it's properly placed on the pipe, and control squeeze rates and release rates. So ASTM do have guidelines around squeeze off when you're squeezing, making sure you're squeezing no faster than 2 inch per minute. And when releasing, it's no faster than 1/2 inch per minute. And in cold weather conditions, you want to double those times as well. Do not squeeze in the same place twice. So making sure that you're staying 3 times the pipe diameter away from any previously squeezed areas or fusions, elbows, joints, T's. And then there's technical information. So refer to TN 54, which is a great document to understand a little bit more about the squeeze off application. So quickly, I'll get into product spotlight. So this actually happened a few weeks ago. So this was at Texas A&M University. There was an issue on their 24-inch STR-17 domestic water line that was being fed to the university. They had an issue with a mechanical coupler, I believe, and they needed this repair ASAP. So we actually hot-shotted a squeeze-off tool in on a Saturday. They were able to squeeze off that line, get flow control. And so the contractor came in. They were able to do the repair work. And by Sunday evening, that service was back up and running, which didn't prevent any downtime to the university. So hugely successful product or spotlight for us. And there's going to be a case study coming out of that shortly. So that's all I got. You can go to our website, check it out. It's footagetools.com. We have a lot of good information there for you guys to check it out.
Well, one of the things I love about your products, Ben, is your products cross industries. It's not like it's just the water market or just oil and gas or domestic gas distribution. Here you have a large university who's fully committed to HDPE pipe, who during spring break had to get that water line back up and running, and you guys delivered, you and ISCO delivered. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Peter. Appreciate it.
All right. Next, we have, who's up from GF? Is that Glenn? Are you up? And Glenn, take it away. Talk about another product we talk about all the time on the road. Your products get a lot of attention. Take it away.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about the GF multi-joint flexible restraint system. It's a system that's been on the market for over 30 years globally. We have been in Canada for about 14 years, and we've been in North America and the US for about 2 or 3 years now. So we have every range from 2 to 42-inch OD. We do about polyethylene transitions and connections, say about 75% of the time. What makes us very unique is that we have 16 degrees of deflection, 8 degrees per side of each coupling. We also have reducer couplings. So if you need to go from like a 12 to 10 or 14 to 12 or 22 by 20, you don't need to get a reducer and then have 2 other couplings making that transition. You can actually do it in one with the transition couplings. We also have flange adapters as well. And also with each polyethylene connection, we highly recommend using a insert stiffener, because everything we do with multi-joint is based on a leak-free, maintenance-free system for the next 50 years. So that insert will definitely help with that. So here's a couple of projects that we tend to do a lot of. We tend to do a lot of chamber work. Chambers tend to settle into the ground because it's, one big giant piece of concrete. And, when that settles, so, the connections tend to get stressed. So with the George Fisher multi-joint, which is a fully flexible restraint system, it's a 360-degree restraint. So it's not point loaded. So again, when it's connected, it will adapt to the shifting of the ground. So in these particular chambers here, this was the permafrost that was up in Nunavut, and they have the big year every time is about going from winter to thaw in the summer with their permafrost. So with every chamber connection that they do, they recommend and using the George Fisher multi-joint coupling. Also, we tend to do a lot of times when you can't fuse. So, we all know in the polyethylene world, fusion is the best way to go. But, when you can't fuse, whether you have misalignment or, just the conditions doesn't allow it, whether you can't get the trench dry, you can't get the line dry, the George Fisher multi-joint is a great option to be able to make these connections. So in these two pictures, you was coming from a valve chamber, and there was an issue where they couldn't do any fusion, so they used the George Fisher multi-joint to make these chamber connections here. Also too, when you're getting into the repair aspect of it, the George Fisher multi-joint, is a great product. In this particular instance, there was some old flanges that were in the ground and they started to leak. So it was a wastewater force main. So they couldn't get the trench dry. They had a little bit of time to get this done because a whole community of 500,000 people, would have been out of water. And also too, they had it where the tank itself could overflow. So this is a great opportunity for the George Fisher multi-joint to be able to make this connection and to be able to take it and connect it and then turn it back on and have it continuing running for the next 50 years maintenance free.
So in that case, did it go from a flange spool to your mechanical multi-joint spool?
Plain end pipe.
Ah, okay.
So they cut out the flange altogether and they used 2 plain end pieces of pipe.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also too, in this particular application, this is a polyethylene going into a new valve chamber. So as you can see, it's pretty deep there. This was in Alberta, Canada, and basically, the George Fisher multi-joint was a great option here. Fusion would be very difficult in this particular application. So they were going from the old polyethylene into the new polyethylene. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was a 20-inch George Fisher multi-joint that was used here. So when it comes to George Fisher multi-joint, it's a great option to when you need to transition from one material to another. So, it doesn't matter if you're going from HDPE to PVC. We tend to do the most difficult connections, and polyethylene is a very difficult connection to make mechanically, and the George Fisher multi-joint does it with ease. So, we do a lot of CPP transitions to polyethylene. We do a lot of stainless and HDPE transitions. And if you can see over on the right there, we've done some AC pipe to HDPE. And as you can see, the 16 degrees of deflection can definitely help with making these connections. So, and yes, that picture over there on the right is acceptable with the George Fisher multi-joint. You wouldn't see that with any other product on the market.
Okay. Can you explain that 16 degrees? Is it 8 plus 8? Is it 12 plus 4? And how does it work?
So it's 8 by 8 on each side. So what basically we all know that pipes never line up 100%, right? So, with the angularity of 16 degrees, which is the highest in the market, you'd be able to slide that pipe over one plain end piece of pipe, bring in the other pipe, slide it back, and torque it back up to have it to what you need to be able to make that a leak-free, maintenance-free system. So, where normally you would take you hours or to dig back behind, and then basically, you'd have to bring the pipe back in line, the George Fisher multi-joint will help with that. And from all of our sizes, from 2-inch to 42-inch, they all have the 16 degrees, 8 degrees of deflection based on the middle of the range. So it's a great tool to use. And you'll also find that the George Fisher multi-joint is used in a number of PPI documents. One is the basic HDPE repair, which came out in 2018. And then last year, the TN45 joining polyethylene pipe mechanically. Again, the George Fisher multi-joint is listed in there as to be able to help when you're connecting this pipe material.
Yeah, good job. As our audience knows, the Plastics Pipe Institute provides a lot of the intellectual guidance, shall we say, Glenn?
Yes.
And they periodically, they're required every 5 years to update the documents. And we do find substantive amendments to these documents, don't we, Glenn?
Yes, that's right. Every once in a while, they have to be updated. Technology comes new, more products that's we feel more comfortable to use. They get listed and changed all the time.
Yeah, great job. Thank you very much, Glenn Steele with George Fisher. All right, we have another George Fisher entree here. Carl Rouge. Carl, please join us. Tell us a little bit about insulated and heat traced pipe.
Thanks, Peter. My name's Carl Rouge, 27 years with Eurocon. based out of Toronto, and I'm the national sales director. A little bit about Eurocon. Our core business is creating and manufacturing custom pre-insulated HDPE solutions. We do this out of 2 plants in Canada, one in the east, Montreal, and one in the west in Edmonton, Alberta. It's pretty simple. What we do is we take the core polyethylene pipe, NEDR, and we apply in the factory, we apply 2 inches, typically it can be as little as 1 up to 3 inches of polyurethane foam right onto the pipe. And we, at the same time, we apply a jacket to the foam, and the jacket can be made of numerous materials. It's most commonly polyethylene, but it can be metal or fiberglass or other materials as well. It ends up being a fully bonded solution. So in other words, the urethane foam is stuck or bonded to the pipe, and the jacket is bonded to the foam. So in effect, it creates sort of a mechanically linked sort of a sandwich. So everything moves together, expanding, contracting at the same time. And we go up to about 48 inches in diameter, and we can handle about 60 footers. Could probably go longer, but we're sort of limited by trucks. On the fitting side, we either pre-insulate the fittings, or we create kits that can be field applied to the fittings. Heat tracing is a big part of what we do. In fact, it's sort of our specialty, you could say. Basically, what we do is we design and supply the heat tracing supplies and materials to effectively guard against freezing in cold weather climates. So we use different types of cables, but essentially what happens here is in the field, the cable is installed through a conduit, which is pre-manufactured straight onto the pipe under the insulation. So pretty simple, and it basically works by a thermostatic control. So when it's super cold and there's no flow in the pipe, it calls for heat. The cable comes on, keeps things nice and toasty. We can go up to about 12,000 feet in one circuit length from a single power point. So pretty long runs. We sort of work in 3 basic areas. Our main business is municipal water and waste, and we focus on freeze prevention in this market. And we do a lot of bridge crossing. So you see here, it's a large diameter polyethylene bridge crossing, bonded polyurethane foam, and a metal jacket in this case to keep things using the metal to add beam strength to the piping. So very commonly done throughout the northern U.S. and into Canada.
Hey, Carl, it's Dan Landy. Real quick,
Dan.
I just got a question about that this week. Do you guys do the thermal loads? We get a lot of questions on will water freeze in polyethylene and can it be used above ground? But I can't say I've ever done the thermal calculations myself.
Absolutely. It's a big part of what we do, Dan. Good question. So we're happy to help consulting engineers out in designing systems, and we can calculate heat loss, but really what you want to know is the time before freezing. So we provide, given a bunch of variables like ambient temperatures, size of pipe, DR, thickness of foam, etc., we can determine how long it would be to basically create an ice cube in the pipe in that condition, in that no flow condition. And so we use that to optimize the design. Second big area that we work in is mining, and specifically freeze prevention on the industrial side. 3 main areas: tailing lines, which tend to be very long pre-insulated lines, often directly laid on grade, pre-insulated and heat traced. Slurry lines, same thing. And another one is intakes, which is very common in mining applications. These are often pretty demanding areas in the far north, typically. And the third area where we focus with pre-insulated polyethylene pipe is district energy. And this is relatively new, especially on the heating side. And as sort of supply temps have come down to sort of 180 and below zone, we're seeing more non-metallic solutions in district energy. And of course, needless to say, it's a big benefit, no corrosion, and super easy to install and inexpensive and leak proof, needless to say as well. So we've got PERT on the on the heating side and just standard polyethylene on the chilled side.
Yeah, help me out with cost. Thinking about doing this, I want heat trace and I want an insulated jacket. Does it double the cost of the pipe? Generally, give me a ballpark.
But it's sort of a range. It depends on it really is a function of the size of the pipe. So lower diameter, the insulation component tends to be, let's say, double the cost of the core pipe. And as the diameter increases, that tends to flatten out and it ends up being the insulation sort of around the same cost as a core pipe. But there's a bunch of variables.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Carl. Always great to have you on the webinar and the podcast. Thank you so much. Next, we have Jeff Humes with Integrity Fusion. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, good afternoon.
Jeff, take it away.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. My name is Jeff Humes. I'm the National Sales Manager for Integrity Fusion Products. We're a family-owned manufacturing company of HDPE fittings. We also have a full line of electrofusion transitions, and we've just got our poly ball valve program started back up again.
Well, so, Jeff, I got to tell you, I'm so used to seeing, 2-inch to 12-inch on injection molded fittings. My God, 24 inches? Are you kidding?
Yeah, we're very excited about this. One of the things about Integrity, and I've enjoyed working with them the last 8 years, is they're not afraid to kind of take points from distributors and end users and kind of work up with new products, and we're not afraid to do that. And we've come out with our large diameter injection molded fittings, currently 14-inch through 24-inch. In 45s, 90s, and equal Ts. These are OD, ID controlled, fully pressure rated. There's no extra having to put extra padding or extra HDPE on them. They do come with an FM Class 200, and you can see from the screen right there, they're currently available. And right now it's DR11 IPS only. So for those engineers and those projects, those chilled water systems, those plant work applications, we've always been asked about going larger than 12-inch on molded, and now we have. And we also, the large diameter injected molded fittings, they meet and exceed the required standards of ASTM, American Water Works Association, NSF, and FM approved. And for those that need the information, we're really excited. Last year in January, we launched our new website. And from what I'm hearing from a lot of our distributors and a lot of end users, that they really enjoy our website, and it's easy to work themselves around. But it has all our product information. It's got all our schematics, submittal packages. There actually is installation instructions. There's torque rates for flange adapters. There's bolt length for MJ kits, a lot of more information on there that we didn't have in the past that we're very excited about.
Yeah, and we'll talk about a great place to announce this stuff. I mean, I've seen it in the social media, but I'm just so proud of you guys. I mean, you're bringing in some very large molds, and your injection machines must be huge. Also, Jeff, briefly tell us about your training, because you guys do training and it's online for electrofusion. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We do an online for electrofusion for 12-inch and smaller. We run this through our distribution partners, and they can pass it on and utilize it for their customers, their contractor techs, and it's been really, really good. We started it during COVID when everybody was doing Teams and Zoom meetings, and then I'd say we probably have had over 800 to 900 go through the program. And what you do is you go through it. It's very robust. Once we get the PO from the distributor, we'll get that person set up. I think they initially have 2 weeks to do the program in our system, but it's pretty robust. It took me 4 hours, and I know what I'm doing. But there's no get you questions. But you have to pay attention. You have to do it. And then we also send each individual 2 pieces of pipe, a saddle, and a coupling, and they take pictures and do it on as they go along and do the steps. They're taking pictures and putting it in our system, and if they want, they'll send it back to us, and we'll destructive test it, and everything passes, we will give them a 2-year certification from electrofusion for 12 inches and smaller. However, we do offer 3 or 4 times a year a large diameter training. Rick Ponder is our national electrofusion coordinator and runs all that. And that's been very successful as well.
Well, great job. Very, very pleased to see that. And I'm pleased to see 24-inch injection molded fittings. Very cool.
What's nice is that, I mean, for years you saw in the specs if molded's made and the engineers want molded.
Yeah.
So we're not getting rid of the fabricators. Everybody has their purpose, but then we think there's a niche for us, and
yeah,
we've definitely introduced that.
For sure. I'll be happy. I'll be excited to see how that takes off. So well done. All right. Next we have improved piping products. I got a text from Darren Zeppelin. So I'm going to pretend to be Darren. He is stuck on an aircraft on a tarmac somewhere, and he asked me to present his products. So I would say IPP, I call them. They're specialty large diameter manufacturer of all kinds of MJs and flanges primarily, but they make super large diameter, fully pressure rated flanges, MJs. In this case, these backup rings they make are polypropylene encapsulated, so perfect for unique environments that need that sort of attention. So this is a beveled flange adapter. So think butterfly, think valve spacing requirements. So these are products that are driven by an engineer's design. So there's a lot of custom work being done down here in San Antonio with their products. So I visited them last month to take these images. This is a 24-inch polyethylene MJ, mechanical joint adapter. So it's molded, these large diameters. In some cases, it's out of a large piece of billet, but they go up to 48-inch, both DIPS as well as IPS. Here's a concentric reducer. I mean, I just don't know how many of these are used every year, but they sell a ton. These are customizable. You can change your diameters, figure out your flows, and go from there. They also do wall anchors in IPS and DIPS, all the way up to 63-inch. These tend not to be in stock, so plan ahead. All right, now we're going to hear from our good friends at McElroy. Who am I going to see? Jared. Okay, I saw Jason on the line too, but you got the call, Jared. Take it away.
Correct. Well, I appreciate you guys having us on. My name is Jared Thompson, and I'm a product manager here at McElroy. And today we're excited to talk about the Acrobat I-Series. And we get this question a lot, and we have for a long time. When will Fusion Guide Control come to smaller diameters? And with the successes of our large diameter I-Series, medium diameter I-Series, and the Triton, we've been able to take that those learnings and integrate it into an Acrobat that's already been out and been proven. If you go to the next slide, we'll kind of talk about the why. When you add the I-Series technology and you add level 3 automation, we're making installation simple for fusible pipe systems. We're suffering a major labor shortage, so getting operators up to speed faster is huge. And with the data logger, we are keeping fusions more consistent, which is important. And what this is right now, you're looking at a level 3 fusion. All the stuff's been entered into the data logger prior. When we hit start, we're going to see the fusion process happen automatically. The pipes are going to come together on the heat plate, and we're going to start our bead up. Now, the machine is recognizing displacement of that molten material, and once it hits the right mark for the bead, it's going to automatically perform that shift sequence for us to get us into heat soak. As you can see, we're still having that visual feedback on our data logger, the pressure over time graph. And as it's still heat soaking, when the time's met, the machine's going to recognize that, and it's going to perform the open close process for us. So we meet our open close times. Pipe ends are going to come together, and we're going to be in our fuse cool. And what this allows the user to do is to turn around and start another fusion, but essentially be more productive on that job site. And the data logger now is the interface to control the machine as well as the data logger itself. What you see here is some form factors of the Acrobat. top left-hand corner is the 4-jaw with the indexer on a skid. But if you wanted to go down to a 3-jaw, it's toolless, and we can quickly remove that outer jaw and make it a 3-jaw setup, which is over to the right. Now, if you want to break it down further, with just a nut, we can take the whole carriage off the skid, remove the indexer. Now we have a lightweight 3-jaw setup that can go overhead, vertical fusions, whatever we need to be done.
I remember a time, Jared, when vertical fusion, I mean, what do you mean? Who does vertical fusions? But, in the pre-show deck today, we heard from Andy McElroy about data centers. You guys are selling a ton of these into the mechanical contracting community.
Yeah, and what's great about the Acrobat is it's a dual purpose. It's for the underground HDPE world and the PP world. So really the workhorse in that 2 to 10-inch pipe range. And we've widened the guide rods on that as well for those flange to flange fusions, making it a lot easier. But then we ask ourselves, as we always do, we have to find a better way. And when we're fusing pipe, a way to attach that physical joint into the vault. And what we've come up with is our Vault ID tags. And what these are, they are rugged, UV stable, open URLs essentially, that once we get done with the fusion process, we're going to simply scan that into our joint report. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see just that. We just finished a butt fusion. Everything's done as normal, but we've added the assign ID tag within the joint report. So all we do is click that, take our data logger and take a picture. It scans it in. That open URL is now attached to that fusion. And then we can walk up, no apps needed. We can take our phone, scan that, and it's going to take us straight to that joint report with full details on graph, photos, map, who did it, are they qualified, what type of this. It gives us all the information we need, so we're able to track things a lot quicker and easier.
Okay, so before this, the consulting civil inspectors had to go to the vault and pull it down.
Yep.
Now he can just be on site with his phone and QR code it. Is that correct?
That is correct. No, you don't have to have a vault or an account. You can just simply walk up, scan it, you're to get all information you can see right there on the left-hand side of the screen. So talk about transparency quickly. We've done just that. Now, as the world's evolved in these prefabricated work settings, the fabrication workflow has really become a part of the data logger. And, we've got workflow centers where stuff's being done upstream, downstream, things are coming together. So we've really built the bones of this, and it's rolling out. I think we're in the thousands already with these ID tags that are out, and we're getting wonderful feedback on how we can track multiple pieces across multiple cells and workstations, stitching everything together. So we're super happy to see this thing grow legs, and we'd love to get feedback. And if anyone's interested, we'd love to work and see how you guys may do your fabrications.
Yeah, well, I never really realized how important fabrication workflow was until I started paying attention to the data center world.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of big projects that aren't data center oriented where the owners and the engineers want to keep track of fabrications. So I'm delighted to see this coming out. When I roll up on a job site, if there's a Vault ID tag, I'm scanning it. I'm paying attention.
Yep.
So good for you guys. Congratulations, McElroy. Way to go, finding a better way all the time. You guys are doing it.
That's
all right.
right.
Thank you
Peter.
very much, Jared. All right. Next, let's see. We have our friends at R&L Manufacturing. I just love that image on the right. Jesse Salisbury, are you out there?
I am. Can you hear me all right?
You bet. Welcome. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Peter and Agru for having us today. My name's Jesse. I'm with R&L. And for over 25 years, R&L Manufacturing has specialized in HDPE, bead removal tooling, and machines. And so today I'm going to quickly go through our catalog of products and speak a little bit on the applications and markets where we see bead removal being used. The first question everyone asks is, why remove the bead? And the quick answer is kind of because we can, or as I like to say, because PE can. We all know the butt fusion process creates a monolithic system, and when it's done properly, that fusion joint is just as strong, if not stronger, than the pipe itself. So removing either the internal or external fusion bead will not compromise the pipe's pressure rating or integrity of the fusion joint. We have also seen how removing the internal fusion bead will expand the pipe's utility. optimize flow, and eliminate potential blockage issues in the future. And the bead removal is recommended in gravity sewer lines and low-grade slopes, and is currently being regulated in municipalities across the country. And then some of the applications that I have down there and markets that we have seen bead removal over the past 25 years. Again, we were the first and I think only in the US to manufacture bead removal products. These are our hand-operated bead removal units. Our BT2 series and BT3 series removes the bead anything from 3-inch pipe all the way up to 24-inch pipe. These are specifically designed for small to medium HDPE pipe only. We offer 13 different sizes. As you see, the BT2 there, that covers our 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch nominal pipe sizes. And the BT3 goes from 8-inch all the way to 24. Each of our units have a cutting range and adjustable diameter to accommodate for various wall thicknesses and IDs. So if you have a 8-inch pipe, but you have different wall thicknesses or DRs, the 8-inch unit should work for both those. And then I wanted to mention that it's not time consuming. Removing the internal bead after adequate cooling time, it's usually within the fusion process before that rough handling time. And so we've seen a lot of people actually remove the bead just after that cooling period. And so it doesn't add any time to the process. Here's a quick visual of how our tooling works. This is a BT3, and you'll see that you have the coupon in hand. Great. And these are inserted and removed using our torque tubes. That's what the camera is mounted on right now. Our standard handle packages reach up to 51 feet, but you can always combine multiple ones to reach longer distances. I want to talk quickly about our large diameter. So our ML series will remove the bead anything from 18 inches to 52 inches. So obviously we're talking about large diameter pipes here, which means that we have to use a pneumatically driven machine for this. Again, this is for HDPE only. This is pneumatically powered. It has a barrel carbide inserts to remove the bead. Unlike our BT2 and BT3 that you just saw, where you have a removed bead in hand, with these units, we'll have to remove the bead while it's cold, and it creates chips out of them, which can be removed using an included wiper rod. And here's some visuals of it in the field. That left image is over the shoulder on the control box, where you see a monitor where they're able to see the bead being removed, and the other operators operating the unit itself using the T-handle there. And then lastly, our catalog includes an external bead removal tooling. This is our UEBT. That's short for Universal External Bead Trimmer. We call it universal because theoretically anything from 12 inches and up, just because 12 inches usually has the rigidity to withstand the kind of, the the chisel. But you can see that it cleanly removes the external bead without damaging the pipe wall. And that's my brother there, Sean. He's president of RNL. And we were lucky enough to be invited over to Spotlight a couple years ago with Peter there and showcase our external.
Great job, Jesse. Always great to see your products. A lot more attention being placed on them than in recent years. So good work there with your marketing and applications. Really fun to see. All right, Jonathan Reinheimer with Robar. Take it away.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Ag Group. Robar Industries has been proudly serving the waterworks industry since 1958, and I have been part of it, Robar's Imagineering team for 15 years. Robar makes fabricated mild steel or stainless steel restrained mechanical fittings for buried, above ground, and submerged applications. And in terms of application complexity for us, that is the exact order. Buried applications are pretty straightforward, as we only really need to know the operating pressure. Above ground, we need to account for thermal forces. which can be very significant. While submerged applications, we also upgrade the coating, mandate cathodic protection, and account for tidal forces if applicable. So there on these pictures, we've got a 48-inch submerged just below the water table, though no tidal forces. That's being installed by a diver. And the 24-inch, we include a 6-inch drain. Now, given the wonderful world of fabrication, anything is possible. So keep that in mind throughout this presentation. What is unique to Robar is our Rhino Grip gripper assembly, which is a dynamic and modular gripper. So in those pictures, either end, you'll see the radial spokes. That is the gripper system on the left, which consists of a bolt that engages and drives the teeth into the pipe. There is a tapered interface. So as the pipe tries to pull out, the gripper does actually bite harder into the pipe. The gripper count themselves, you can see the variation between the two applications there. The gripper count suits the application. So very much the fittings are engineered product. So looking at those pictures again, you could see the grippers are nicely evenly spaced on the one at 80 PSI. If I need more grippers, I can add more circumferentially. And if I run out of room circumferentially, I can add a second row, as you see at the 230 PSI application. I can add a third, and I can add a fourth just to suit. Given that the restraint is modular in that each gripper is capable of a specific axial load, there is no diametrical limitation. We typically manufacture these from 14 up to about 63 inches, and we're looking to go beyond that in the future here. Maximum 500 PSI, and our couplings can be installed and reinstalled, uninstalled and reinstalled numerous times over. 60% of our business is fully restrained transitions. You need to tie into a legacy system at some point. So HDPE transitioning to a different HDPE nominal or FRP of any size, we're still utilizing the Rhino Grip system. And you need a rigid insert for those two pipe types. For ductile and PVC, we're removing a gland and plugging and playing a mega lug. Stainless steel and steel above 24 inches, we're going to utilize a M11 harness, as you see in the bottom right picture. For pre-stressed concrete cylinder pipe, that's the top right picture. We weld on adapter and then utilize a coupling, as you see in the left. That's the 48-inch ductile to HDPE to ductile. We have various solutions for asbestos cement, and we can do MJ flanges of any size. We just shipped a large job of 54-inch. I'd like to make mention of the bottom left there. We have a 30-inch HDPE transitioning to a 32 restrained fitting, and then we have a tapping sleeve, and then we have two concentric reducers stepping down to 14-inch ductile iron. You know, again, this is the wonderful world of fabrication. That could have been done as one single fitting. For cut-in repairs, I'm going to make reference to the 63-inch job. It's 6 miles of 63-inch pipe for a penstock intake. First solution was just to insert a coupling, cut out the joint, put the coupling in, which required a lot of pipe to be excavated and moved out of the way as a result. A more faster installation was two 63-inch flange coupling adapters, where you just need to cut out enough of the pipe to drop those flange coupling adapters in, so minimal excavation. Or a typical repair is just to cut out a pipe section, drop two couplings with an intermediate spool piece in there. So that in a nutshell is Robar. So feel free to reach out, everyone. We're always here to help.
So Jonathan, quickly here, thank you for doing such a nice job. Are all these custom, or do you carry some of your products on the shelf?
We will carry some on the shelf, but right now we are just so busy we cannot keep up.
Got it. And you're primarily repair or primarily transition?
I would say the bulk of it is transition. I would say a good 60% of our business are transitions.
Makes sense. Well, so thankful for you guys being members of the Alliance for PE Pipe, because this is a really important part of what we do. Got to tie in to legacy materials as we grow and grow and grow. So thank you very much, Jonathan Reinheimer and Robar Industries. All right, next we have Strongbridge, Bill Breckenridge. I think that's you, isn't it?
It is me.
welcome
There we
to the
are.
Alliance for PE Pipes webinar program. Take it away, Bill.
So my name is Bill Breckenridge. I am the Western Regional Sales Manager for Strongbridge, based in Tucson, but covering the Western United States. We are a manufacturer of electrofusion and molded polyethylene fittings. Originally, we were founded in 2006 and are located in Jacksonville, Florida. We currently have a 50,000 square foot warehouse stocking a wide variety of molded butt fusion fittings through 12-inch, HDPE ball valves through 8-inch, and electrofusion couplers, saddles, and flex restraints. And of course, for those of you who deal with us, those distributors, you know this is where our inside sales team is located and provides the quick response to quote requests from our distributors throughout the United States and Canada. Product innovation. Along with our standard line of molded fittings, we're bringing FM ratings to those fittings and an all HDPE gate valve intended for the municipal market. So we'll have more on that coming soon. We also have our known range of electrofusion fittings, 1/2-inch through 63-inch in IPS, 4-inch through 36-inch for DIPS, and 4-inch through 48-inch for thinner wall DIPS applications. Large diameter electrofusion saddles. These are saddles that have outlets of 12-inch or larger, and they require the use of our spider tool installation device. You can see it in the image here. It's a special device that does require special training and is used to hold the saddle onto the pipe while the fusion is taking place. And then let's jump into a little bit about our electrofusion training. We offer a level 1 training. This is based upon the Plastic Pipe Institute MAB-01 joining procedure. It's the initial training that every fusion technician and maybe even every electrofusion salesman should have. We will accept other electrofusion manufacturers' trainings when installing our fittings, but this is the starting point to the process. Our level 2 training is based upon the Plastic Pipe Institute MAB-02 electrofusion joining procedure. It's a second level training that provides the knowledge, skills to perform electrofusion saddles up to 30-inch in diameter, and then also electrofusion saddles from 6-inch through 10-inch outlets, as well as flex restraints. Level 1 and level 2 training should probably be completed during the same training session at our facility in Florida. The level 3 training addresses the unique requirements of electrofusion couplings larger than 30-inch, and the class is limited to 2 attendees and only those whose electrofusion qualification is current and who have prior electrofusion coupling experience. Lastly, level 4 training focuses on electrofusion saddles with outlets larger than 12-inch and the use of the spider tool, just like we saw in the prior slide. So that's its own specialized class that builds upon the prior trainings, something to keep in mind. So here's my contact information. You can reach me at that number listed or the email listed, and I'm always available to help in any way possible. And then a photograph of our new HDPE gate valve that will be introduced to the market soon.
Good for you. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
You guys always have a ton of inventory too.
50,000 square feet.
That's just a lot of electrofusion and molded fittings. So congratulations. Thank you, Bill Breckenridge. All right. Next, we have Bill's email address showing up on my screen. All right. Noopy, Ben Rigsby, are you there?
Yes.
We talked a little bit about data centers earlier, and your Nylon product is big in the data center world. But you guys do a lot in addition to your data center work and that PPRCT product. Can't wait to hear about it, Ben.
Thanks, Peter. So real quick to start off. So once we get to, I left the Nylon for the back end of this. that would be covered by one of my colleagues. We separate our sales lines into three different umbrellas under NUPI. We have ELO Fit, which is our HDPE black fittings, which is what I'm in charge of as the regional East manager of the United States and Canada. And then we have Niron, which is managed by entirely different sales team, still under NUPI, and SmartFlex, which was our oil and gas product line. All work for the same team at the end of the day. It's just a little too much for one sales team to take on. So I'm going to kick it off here with ELO Fit, which is what I manage here for NUPI. So our ELO Fit line is going to be our HDPE PE100 4710 fittings that we injection mold in Italy. We stock them in two separate facilities in the United States. So we stock them in Early Branch, South Carolina. That would be located somewhere in between Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. And then we have another facility out of Houston, Texas, which is where we house the rest of our products. We tend to keep majority of our butt fusion in Houston and our electrofusion and socket fusion products in South Carolina. So ELO Fit in a nutshell is our butt fusion, electrofusion, socket fusion, and compression fitting lines. We tend to offer a little bit of anything and everything when it comes to thermoplastic fittings. For our butt fusion fittings, we offer an array of fittings like elbows, T's, reducing T's, reducers, MJs, all the accessories to go along with it, flanges, rings, Y's, caps, saddles, wall anchors, transition fittings, kind of, you think it up and can name it. We've usually got it in stock or a new production order all the way. And then for our electrofusion line, we're going to offer couplers, branch saddles, cat tees, repair sleeves, elbows, tees, reducers, repair patches, caps, transition saddles, camera fittings, and flex restraints. And now, so the camera fittings, some people are a little confused on those, but essentially what it is it's like a transition saddle, but it allows you to camera line your fitting if that's a call out during your project. So this hole is already there without you having to essentially pre-tap your saddle. And then we also keep our socket fusion fittings in stock in South Carolina as well. And that's a full line of couplers, elbows, tees, reducers, full line of geothermal products, which includes our MPT and FPT adapters and swivel fittings. And lastly, we carry a full line of compression fittings, which includes our compression couplers, tees, elbows, and HDPE to PVC transitions, as well as caps and male and female adapters. So to touch on some of the new products that we've developed over the past couple of years, it's going to be consisting of our 10-inch and 12-inch T's and 45s and 90s. And those are going to be offered in DR 17, 11, 9, and 7. We also, in the recent years, have developed our polyethylene ball valves for underground application. We offer these in full bore and reduced bore. We offer them, like I said, 1-inch all the way up to 6-inch, and these are good for potable water use. They are NSF 61 and NSF 14 rated. And then this is a picture of our threaded geothermal adapters that we've just recently developed at the bottom. This slide here is a quick snapshot of the manufacturing process for our HDPE ball valves. Pretty much, the body and the spigot ends coming together, and each one is individually tested after they're manufactured. And right here, people don't really consider NUPI when they think compression fittings a lot of the times, but we have been offering them for quite some time. This was a job that we did down in Miami. It was a suspended water line on a dock. And it went together flawlessly. These go together hand tight. We do offer wrenches for them to get them torqued down to spec, but it's a very, very nice alternative and ease of installation method if you're choosing an alternative to butt fusion or electrofusion or socket welding. And then lastly, so our PPRCT, I invited my colleague Michael LeBlanc to come on here and speak on this as this is his product line and sort of what he's in charge of. But I will pretend to be Michael here for a quick minute. So our PPRCT Niron is our polypropylene material, and this is made and manufactured in the USA. Here we extrude our pipe in Early Branch, South Carolina. The fittings are still injection molded in Italy currently. We are having plans in the next couple of years to injection mold domestically. We extrude diameters of PPRCT pipe from 1/2 inch all the way to 24 inch. We have 4 different extrusion lines in our South Carolina facility. which we can extrude this polypropylene RCT and also HDP as well. We offer this in DR7 all the way up through DRs26. And our nylon piping systems are NSF 1461 certified. They are certified under the UPC, IPC, CSA, and IAPMO governing bodies. And you'll find this piping systems utilized in hydronic heat, chilled water systems, data centers like Peter was mentioning earlier, cooling towers, condensed water, hot and cold piping systems. Essentially, it's more of an alternative that you see when people are looking for alternatives when HDPE just can't meet all the stringent requirements of inside the plant work. So these are great for hot water pressurized applications.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the webinar, you can go up to 250 F, whereas HDPE only goes to typically 80 F, where it goes higher. It goes to 100. And Dan, what does polyethylene go up to? But you have to derate it.
Temperature wise,
Yeah.
you do 140 for traditional 4710 resin, up to 180 for PRT raised temp.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. Hey, Ben, great job. And thank you for appearing today. We loved hearing about
thanks
all your
for having us, Peter.
At NUPI.
Sorry, there's a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Yeah. And then finally, I just want to mention this quickly here as we finish, and then Dan will come on and tell us how to get our PDHs. Pipestar makes these custom manufactured bends without a joint. So this company's called Arc Bends, and you can see how they would work in a plant where there is no joint. Here we have a full 90 with no fabricated bend. It's just no joint at all. Very cool. To our presenters, thank you. Great job today. And our audience, thank you for sticking through so many different presenters and so many cool products. With that, we'll say goodbye. Next webinar will be horizontal directional drilling that Dan Landy will bring to us.